So you might be done with your past, but your past may not be done with you. What am I talking about? I've been watching since, I guess, late yesterday, the whole thing going down with Dr. Peter Attia. Initially, when I saw the stuff, I was like, okay, that's not good, but whatever. Trickling out just bit by bit by bit, it just keeps getting worse. And from what I can tell, it's not like he broke any laws. So why am I talking about this? My whole shtick about high tech lifestyle. I'm, you know, I'm going to talk about fitness and AI and software development and stuff, but we live in a high tech world. And there's some stuff to think about that I think this Peter Attia case with Epstein is worth examining, because this is some stuff that I think people should be very aware of. Throughout my career as a consultant, I had to communicate with people. There's a lot of email, status reports, things like that. And I learned to communicate very carefully with people, especially in email, because it's discoverable. This is stuff that gets left behind and can come back and bite you in the ass, as is happening right now with Dr. Attia. And, it's for you to consider as a person in the world, in this high tech world where we have social media, YouTube. I'm sitting here posting these freaking videos on YouTube. I hope I've not done anything too egregious. Uh, Definitely not to the level of what is coming out in these emails. And that's why I'm talking about this, and something for you to think about is, do not put what he put ever into an email. And, we talk about, like, people are like, oh, well, it's locker room talk. Well, sure, some people talk that way in the locker room. That doesn't make it right. But it happens, and it's like, okay, I distance myself from it, not because it's just, yeah. But what are you thinking putting that into a email? I mean, so I get it, and so the whole thing, I don't want to get into Epstein, but for you to consider as a software developer or a consultant or whatever role you have, you know, Dr. Attia, and stuff is kind of, people have, kind of pointed out some stuff. I have his book, Outlive. It's a good book. I mean, what he did, and I got a question later on to consider, but these emails don't make the book any less valid. What he says is good advice. Um, so, but at the same time, as a medical professional, because stuff has come out, just been pointed out about his actual credentials, which I wasn't really aware of. But, he's doing his longevity thing. And I guess Epstein, I have not read all the emails, but just somehow the relationship developed. And, so the whole thing is, a person who's been convicted of a crime entitled to health care? I think we can reasonably say yes, okay. And the doctor providing the health care to the person who has been convicted, and whatever settlement has been made between him and us, the society, has been achieved, and that person is now out in public. They're entitled to health care. Okay, I hope we can agree on that. The doctor providing the health care should not be tainted by the fact that they are treating this person who perhaps does not have a good reputation. All well and good. And the initial thing that I saw, which had me going, okay, that's not great, but whatever, was, I guess, Dr. Attia had sent a picture of a shipment of metformin that he had received. Little vials. I have pictures of the peptides and stuff, that I've sent to my friend. Look at this. And he sends back his. Well, the problem is Epstein sends back a picture of a woman and saying that, oh, look at my shipment. As a medical professional, you delete that email. I didn't see, click. I saw the email. I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole. when I worked for Microsoft Consulting, when I worked for Bourne, when I worked for Hitachi Consulting. If somebody had sent me, nobody ever did, but should somebody send me something like that, you delete that. No, I'm not sending an email back. Should I send it to HR? I don't know. But you sure as hell do not engage with that. And so that's where Dr. Attia, it's like, okay, when he sent back the thing, it's like, what are you thinking? And there's a point at which he crossed the line from being a medical professional to something else. He crossed a line with what he did. And what I'm talking about here is encouraging you, don't do that. And even do not banter, and it sucks, but it's the world we live in. Even with your friends, like I'm pretty sure I've not sent anything entirely egregious, nothing like what apparently is in Attia, trading memes back and forth and stuff like that with my buddies. Everybody talks about, their group chats with their buddies and stuff. I mean, to a degree right now, you got to be considering, is Verizon keeping all that stuff and they get subpoenaed? Or all of those really bad memes that you and your buddies have been shipping back and forth, are they all going to get exposed to the internet? So, something to think about. Anyway, but I'm crushed because, and I'm struggling. I was talking to my wife, and she's like, "Well, why are you struggling here? What's the issue?" It's not like Dr. Attia is your friend, but he did do some good in the world, and look at, because of what those emails, what he has done to his reputation. Can he recover it? I have no idea. I hope so. And why do I hope so? Well, just because I hate to see anybody come to a bad end. Yeah, so be careful about what you put in an email and even what you post on the internet. Think about, how is this going to come out down the road? And think about that. So anyway, I'm going to say have a good evening. I'm not going to do the usual thing about watching videos and crap. Just watch more of my videos, please. And have a good evening.